It's August 2014. I'm 10 years old, and I'm just chilling in my mom's house watching Markiplier's new video on a little game called Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm watching, and watching, and watching, and what the fuck? The hell was that, Mark? That was scary. Don't do that to me, Mark. I trusted you, man. I fucking trusted you. After I experienced my first heart attack, I decided that I didn't like scary things. But since I got the pattern recognition of a sloth, I kept watching until the end. And I then proceeded to have nightmares for the next few weeks. But during that time, I got recommended videos from our good old boy, Matt Patton, about the, at least at the time, simple but very dark story that drew me back into the game. This, like I'm very sure many others, was my introduction into indie games. Now, even though Five Nights at Freddy's was my first experience, it was nowhere close to my favorite. And my favorite is Undertale, actually, which I know isn't a unique opinion, but it came out when I was in middle school and helped me forge meaningful relationships that I still have to this day. I remember playing through the Pacifist run and dreading doing the Genocide run because of how much these characters actually meant to me. I also remember the impact of the ending of the Genocide run and how the fourth wall break shook me to my 11-year-old core. Hell, I remember wasting time in my art class by playing the browser version of the Sans Fight on my Chromebook instead of doing my project. That's how much this game meant to me. This led me down a rabbit hole of indie games: Binding of Isaac, Super Meat Boy, Shovel Knight, more Five Nights at Freddy's. Seriously, there's a lot of them. But these games have formed what I think constitutes a great game. What I think makes an indie game so good is the fact that one person or small dev team is making these masterpieces. Now, I've been playing AAA games more recently than indie games. This is mostly because there's just more of them and they have more polish and they offer a longer gaming experience, but it's also really difficult sometimes to find someone's passion project that they poured their heart and soul into. Like, I'm sure about YouTube, Five Nights at Freddy's would have never gone to the point of popularity that it is right now. That goes for other indie darlings too. Another thing I think pulls audiences in indie games is the lack of boundaries in the games. Like, Night in the Woods is an indie game with themes of nostalgia, growing up, responsibilities, and dealing with loss, which is more than what I can say for some AAA titles. I'm going to talk about Undertale again because fuck you, I want to, but because Undertale is the best choose-your-own adventure game on the market, hands down. Instead of having two black and white choices that changes nothing besides who you get a reputation with, in Undertale your choice is not done through a button prompt, but instead through the gameplay and how you interact with these characters, which doesn't give you two different endings depending on what you chose, but instead one of 93 different ones, all created by one guy. And I'm not the only one to love this game as much as I do. You see, the creator of Smash Bros., you might know him, Masahiro Sakurai, recognized Undertale for its importance in gaming and then introduced Sans into Smash Ultimate. And yes, I understand it might just be a Mii Gunner outfit, but the fact that it's even being acknowledged by a huge franchise shows the influence created by these games. Cuphead, one of the best and most loved shoot-'em-up games of its time, is completely hand-animated by a team of 14 people headed by two guys who put their house on the line. This is probably the best example of dedication that goes into the development of a video game, especially one with no guaranteed success. Something I didn't know was that Outlast, the original one at least, is an indie game. I didn't know this until I started researching for this video, and I thought that because of how astonishing it looked and just how well it played, that it just looked and seemed like a AAA title. One of the things that Outlast did was flip the horror game genre on its head by making you run away from and hide from the big bad instead of you making it fight it like some action hero. So, in summary, indie games revitalized the games industry by introducing new and exciting gameplay and exploring themes and subjects that are just too troublesome for some AAA games to even approach. So next time you hear about an indie game, give it a try. You might like it.